Being able to identify different flavors of tea comes with only lots and lots of sampling of different varieties of tea. Just like with wine, how it takes a lot of drinking of it to understand and distinguish between red and white wine. Similarly with teas, you have to actually sample a lot of cups to distinguish the very layered flavors and textures of tea, especially with specialty teas. To understand that, today we have with us Mr. Arun Kumar Gomden. With 54 years of experience as a tea maker, there are very few mysteries of the tea world that is not known to him. So today I'll invite him right now to come over here and talk to us about the very art of tea tasting. Hello sir, thank you for joining us today on Teabox Masterclass. So today you will be talking to us about the tasting of teas. So we wanted to hear from you that how should one taste like a professional tea master?
In fact, if you want to become a professional, definitely you have to start tasting from morning to evening. Since when we started in the tea, as a tea carrier, as a tea maker, morning to evening we had to taste our teas. So by the time you go home, your tongue used to be thick and all used. So main thing is experience. More you taste it, more you know about it.
On an average, sir, how many cups you might have tasted by now? 54 years, long years of as a tea taster.
Maybe thousands and thousands of cups, because in tea manufacturing process in the factory, since morning we used to taste it. So maybe daily we used to taste 80 to 100 cups.
So sir, I have a freshly sampled right here. It has come straight from Darjeeling only a few hours back. So I would like you to walk us through the process of how should one taste this particular tea.
Yeah, initially when we start testing our teas, first we see our dry tea leaf appearance. So the visual of dry tea leaf has to be noted. So how it looks like. Is it attractive, not attractive? Is it well made? All sort of thing we see from that dry tea leaf. Then we start smelling. With the smelling, we may not be able to find out mosquito and all in dry tea leaf, but definitely we will see how it smells. Then the moment we smell it, then we may find out if there is any foreign taint and all, we know. Plus, when you see the leaf, then we say whether it is well plucked leaf or it is badly plucked leaf. So anyhow it is graded. So all sort of things we have to see in the dry tea leaf. In fact, then after that second stage we will be watching this, observing this wet leaf. We call it infusion. So how it looks like, then we have to nose it. While nosing, we'll find out much better smell, say, is a flavor or muscatel or not. Everything is from the wet leaf we'll find out. And once we know this infused leaf, we'll see how bright it is. Is it properly manufactured? Is it properly plucked and all? So all the brightness, dullness, darkness, everything is found here. Plus, if it is tinted and all, everything we'll find out from the. Okay, first we have seen the dry tea leaf, then we have seen the infused tea leaf. Now I have to test. The real testing starts here. So whether it is matching the flavor, I have got it in the nose, whether it will be here or not. So before that also, I will see the color of the tea, whether it is a bright, dull, or whatever it may. Maybe very too much of color. We call it too light and bright. This cup is a light and bright. This cup is much more darker color, deeper color. So it depends on the quality of tea, seeing the color of the cup also. You have seen I'm doing the slurping. I don't swallow it. I just spit it out. While spitting out also I have to see the color of the liquor which has come out of my mouth, whether it is foamy, whether it is a light or a little bit of yellowish. So I know how it is been done. If it is a over oxidized tea, the color will be nothing, there will be no color at all, and it will be very foamy. All sort of things we can find it out. So while the slurping of the tea only, so I have to use my whole mouth, including tongues and gums, everything. So at that time my taste bud in the tongue is activated. I have to, and I know which part gives me the what sort of taste. And simultaneously, while in the fraction of a second, I have to use my nasal canal also, so that I can throw the what sort of flavor, character, whatever you call it. I have to throw it from the nose. While I'm slurping, I roll it in the tongue, and my gums and everything is there. Then simultaneously I throw the nasal, I have to use it. So I know what sort of flavor. So similarly, not only flavor, whether there is any type of foreign tint in the tea, and whether that tea is a very thin, soft, or with a full of briskness, or there is a lot of technical terms, terminology in tea tasting. We call it bricks, which catches by gums. It is a bitter, which catches by tip of the tongue. And just like while drinking neem patta, it will hit your tip of the tongue, not everywhere. So similarly, astringency, which catches by sight of the tongue. So you have to roll it and notate everything in the brain very fast. Of course, the brain is the main part where it has to work. So after finishing the slurping and knowing, then I will say, okay, this is a highly flavory tea, bricks tea, bitter tea, astringency. I have to find out.
So we never swallow the tea?
No.
Also, you're drinking thousands of cups.
Thousands cups, then by the time you finish your tea tasting, then you will not be able to eat anything, because if you start swallowing, and in case of wine, if you start swallowing, then you will get completely drunk by the time you finish your 100 of cups. Yes. So actually in tasting we don't swallow it actually.
So sir, to sum up the very art of tea tasting, it's a lot about engaging our senses, from what I'm gathering, that we should make sure that we look, we see the infused leaves, the dry leaves, and then after that we should smell the infused leaves, the liquor, and then go on to make sure that we are slurping, so that our tongue, our brain is engaged with the very activity of drinking tea. And then at the end of the day, we should make sure, especially if you're a tea master like you, then we should make sure that we do not at any point swallow it, and make sure to spit it out. Is there anything that I have missed from this?
Yeah, enjoy it.
Thank you so much, sir, for coming to our masterclass session and taking us through the art of tea tasting. We are going to look forward to the very next session where you take us through it in details. Hope to see you all also in the next session. See you soon.
Thank you.